Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the final update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows 2020 series. This project was created by Alexi, who is of course linked down below. I am randomizing 5 eyeshadows from my collection to work on, and like many of my projects for 2020, I haven't done very good. But I'm excited to be rolling in one new shade. I'm only going to be working on it for a little over a month, but it will get a couple of uses, and those are going to be uses that that palette or eyeshadow will not have seen otherwise. So while it may seem silly to roll in any new eyeshadow, especially since for me and my panning, I have no chance in hitting pan in it before the finale, I'm just going to roll one in anyways. Before jumping into my progress, I want to apologize for the quality of today's video. I am sitting in the corner by my fireplace in my living room, and it is 1:45 midnight. I'm having a hard time. I feel like I talked about it on Instagram. I'm not going to get into it now, but I mean, I know the lighting is terrible. My ring light, I couldn't adjust it low enough, so it's like super high way up here, and I can already tell that the quality of this video is not up to my standards. But I wanted this video to go up on Thursday, and it's now Saturday night. So I'm just going to film it, and I'm sorry. Before jumping into the progress, I do want to pop in a picture of the color story I've been working with over the last month or so. Very colorful, all shimmer, which has been both a good thing and a challenge, I think, but I'm excited to roll in a new shade. I want to start with the eyeshadow I will be rolling out. This has been in this project since January. I don't know. I'm just gonna try not to be super down in this video, but I'm just a little frustrated with myself over like all of my panning for the year. So my goal with my eyeshadows are to use them at least 30 times, or of course hit pan on them. I chose 30 uses because it's usually around the 25 to 35 use mark that I will hit pan in something if it's just your average eyeshadow. And if it's one of those really large or really firmly pressed eyeshadows, it usually takes me like 70 plus uses. So if I don't hit pan around the 30 use mark, or I feel like I'm not close, I can of course choose to keep things in. Then I'm allowing myself to roll them out so that hypothetically I wouldn't be working on them all year. Here we are. I actually used this 31 times. I hope you can see, like, I have a pretty good dip going on in here, but I've heard that these pans are extremely deep, like deceivingly deep. So I'm just going to take my 31 uses and run, and I'm going to roll in a new shade to switch things up. Like I said, I've been working on this shade since January, and I'm just ready for something new. And then if by the slim chance that this does get rolled in to another roulette project like this, then I'm that much closer to actually hitting pan on it. Next up, from my Urban Decay Born to Run palette, I'm working on the shade Guilt Trip, which is the purple here. I've been inspired by Laura to be putting the uses since last update and total uses for the project up in the corner, and I think that is just going to save me a lot of time. I have reached for this, you know, a decent amount of times for me and the amount of times I've done my makeup, and I feel like I'm well on my way to hitting my goal of 30 uses. I don't know if I'm going to in the next month, and I feel like the dip really isn't that big. I've been really enjoying this smoked out on the lower lash line with a lot of my looks, and I actually had a ton of fun with this palette over the last month or so because it was rolled into my the Panner's pan where I wanted to create 3 very different looks with this palette, so you can check out that video if you're interested in the looks I did, but I was really happy with how those turned out, and I just really love this palette. I feel like lately it's been getting a lot of like less positive reviews. Mostly I think the shimmers, because they're not that like metallic, wet looking shimmery type of formula that I feel like people want nowadays. This is a very like everyday basic palette. From my PUR Festival palette, I'm working on the shade Good Vibes. I haven't been reaching for the next 3 shades very often, but this shade, I feel like if I focused on it, I could hit pan, because despite only using it a total of 7 times since it was rolled into this project, I feel like I have really good use on it compared to other shades that I would have used the same amount of times, if that makes sense. This shade applies best with my finger on the lid. It doesn't pick up the best on a brush, or I haven't found a brush that it picks up well on, but it's just your basic coppery shimmer shade, and I have been really liking it. This palette has that like chocolatey vanilla type of scent to it. On my lid today, I'm actually using a shade from my BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. Earlier this year, I successfully hit pan on this green shade, and then right after that, this green shade got rolled in. I have not been focusing on that shade at all. I hit pan on this other one in 16 uses, so you'd think that I could just buckle down and get them done, but no luck so far. A tiny dip is starting to form in there, and again, these pans are really small. If I could just focus and do my makeup a little more often, I'm sure I could hit pan on this, but I honestly don't think I'm going to do that. But it's a very warm, like yellow type of green. For my eye look today, I also used the ColourPop So Jaded palette with like the mustardy and greenish tones in there, and I really like how it turned out for just a quick look that I did at after 10 p.m. Here we are. And last update, I rolled in an eyeshadow from the Morphe and KathleenLights palette, and I hadn't reached for this in a really long time, and I really enjoyed the 2 times that I did get a chance to use it. And I'm working on this shade here. It's like a purpley kind of taupe shade. It's a lot lighter than I was first expecting. I mean, it looks light on camera, but in person it looks like it has a bit more of that purple pigment. But it layers really well with Guilt Trip from my Urban Decay Born to Run palette. So I've been pairing those a lot. One thing I noticed is the way I use this shade is the exact same way. They're very similar tones to ColourPop Couche, which I put in the Panner's pan for Paula. So I'm having a hard time, like I can't be using both of them for at least the way that I've been doing my makeup. But this project ends in December and the Panner's pan goes on, so I just haven't been using that one and using this one instead, and it's working out fine. But yeah, there's no real dip or anything with only 2 uses. Okay, my spreadsheet isn't completely up to date, I don't think, so please bear with me, but I have in my numbers 1 to 700 in my Pretty Random app, and we're going to randomly select 1 new shade to work on. 7. Ooh, that is a very small number. That is a single. It has to be a single for sure. I'm a little nervous. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to grab that and be right back. Alright, I'm back. I had to sneak in with the flashlight on my phone to find this shade and not wake up the baby, but it's a ColourPop Super Shock shadow, and these actually aren't that hard to hit pan on if, again, you just freaking use them. So this is in the shade Crimper, and it's a metallic shade. Oh, I can't open it. Okay, there we go. I make sure to close these super tight. A lot of my Super Shock shadows are like 5 years old and they all still feel like they're brand new because I closed them super tightly. Again, this is Crimper. It's a very light gold shade and I'm excited to be working on this. I feel like this is going to be perfect for the holidays, even though, you know, holidays are going to be looking very different this year as everything else has, which is very disappointing. But what's not disappointing is getting this shade in this project, and I'm actually really excited to work on this. Sorry I haven't been swatching things, but again, the lighting is so terrible right now. I didn't really see a point in doing that. So now that I have all 5 shades again, I'm going to pop in a picture of my new color story. Still working with all shimmer shades. I was not lucky enough to get a matte, which is very strange. But at least it's a neutral because I've been getting a lot of color in this project this year, and that has definitely contributed to the lack of progress. I absolutely love colorful makeup, but I feel like I can't do the same colorful look over and over and over again, whereas with neutrals, like, I am more likely to do a certain neutral look over and over. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if I have any goals I want to set before the next update. I feel like I have quite a long ways to go on all of my shades in order to hit pan on or meet the 30 uses. So maybe I can have one to share with you guys in the finale. I plan on doing a finale in a month, and then if all goes well, around Christmas Day or maybe a couple days after Christmas, I would like for my Pan Those Eyeshadows 2021 to go live and start the project a bit before January 1st to give me a little bit more time, and also to have the updates towards the end of the month instead of trying to jam everything into the first week of each month. To help out with my scheduling and progress and, you know, all the things. So be on the lookout for that. I am excited to do this project again next year. I feel like there's not really many changes I can make to make it more successful for me. It's just been the lack of wearing makeup in 2020, not really like my parameters I've set for this project. That is the reason I'm not doing well. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, even though the quality wasn't up to what I usually try to put out for you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it so that I know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!